Hello, and welcome to Nights in the Nightmare Let's Play. This is video 12, covering scene 9. Last time, we saw a flashback in Regniberg, in which some knights were discussing the problem with the messengers disappearing. At that time, they were interrupted by a messenger, who told them some news regarding the castle. This messenger received the news from a knight that had escaped the castle. It was at this time that they were informed that something bad happened at the castle, and that the king was dead. This flashback was set 7 nights after the tragedy at the castle, so it took a week for the news to hit these knights. We've been getting a lot of flashbacks that show how communication was being hampered in the kingdom. It's a safe assumption that this is an orchestrated effort. Freeber, the wizard we had just recruited, said that it seems something had happened at the castle gate, and perhaps that route is blocked. Anyway, the knight who actually brought the news of the castle later died from her wounds, so she is not able to give any more information. The knights in the flashback try to cope with this information and then decide they need to verify it. I mean, surely someone else has escaped the castle. At the close of the flashback, we see Freeber think to himself, "Enelot, please be safe." After that, we saw a present-time cutscene in which the armored maiden gazed at the castle from afar and said that it was time for her to start guiding the wisp. Finally, we then saw a cutscene in which the witch, Yelma, was finally shown. She discussed some matters with a knight, namely how they had ferreted out the last of the living knights that were resisting and killed them. Yelma then asked the knight if there's any news about the prince, to which he replied that no, there's no news, and that Cardinal must be keeping that information for himself. Yelma makes an interesting comment that they'll find out sooner or later and then it'll be too late. So that's interesting. At this, she dismisses the knight and then looks towards Eventhium Castle, much like the armored maiden had done. She starts an inner monologue about how she wanted even more power, and that these small matters with the kingdom were nothing compared to what she was meant for. So she's got quite the ambition, huh? At any rate, that brings us to scene 9. One more thing to mention. Last round, I used Bonita to nearly the state of exhaustion. So she currently has 0.4 vitality left, and a skill attack removes 0.5 from a knight. So she has one more attack in her before she's in the red. I went ahead and exhausted her completely, so let's check that out and see what happens. So, here we are at the scene beginning. I put Bonita in. She's flickering rather pitifully. She's fading away. I go ahead and load up a weapon for her, and she has enough juice to do one last attack. And during this time, I'm thinking, I'm so sorry, Bonita. I'm just waiting for this stuff to get out of the way. Alright, there she goes. She gets the attack off. And she vanishes, leaving behind just her sword, her rapier in the ground. So, yeah, that's what happens when you exhaust a knight. I go ahead and end the round here. And sure enough, Bonita's spot is vacant on the field. If I go through the inventory here, or my roster, she's still listed though. So that's interesting. Units with 0 vitality cannot be deployed, sure. But why is she still on my roster? So maybe I can give her experience points after this and bring her back from the dead, huh? Well, I tried that. I went ahead and completed the round. And what happened was, during the section at the end, when the knights that you recruit say something about, yes, I'll join up, I got this for Bonita instead. So yeah, she's gone forever. Well, upon seeing that, I quickly did a soft reset and then started the round for real. I'm not going to work any of my knights to the death. That's not going to happen. Alright, so here we are with the proper duelist loaded, Nina. Let's get a lay of the land here as we normally do. Sure enough, Nina Answorth. Enelot Permeal. And Permeal was the last name of Freeber, the wizard we got last round. Stale Rudio. Excuse me, Rudolio. Alright, an NPC I don't have a yellow banner for. I have a yellow banner for him. And a yellow banner for her. So 2 out of 3 NPCs I have key items for. Let's start loading up key items. Alright, I tend to load up 2 key items max and then 2 weapons. So here's a rapier for Nina. And I need a lance for the Lance Knight. I don't know where our Darkish went. I might have exhausted it. Whoops. The halberd's good though. It's their jobs to open these containers. There's 4 objects on the field and they're all containers. So great. 2 barrels, a treasure box, and a crate.
Engage. It's showtime.
Good job, Bailey. Good job. Bailey was a warrior we recruited earlier. Analot refers to Lillian, the duelist we recruited last time. I wonder if they're pals. And by father, she means Freeber. Alright, I'm hopping Nina up 1 space, so then she can hit those 2 containers. Hit it with a gentle touch. Now, pay attention to that yellow goblin that's above Nina. When I open these crates, he makes a move for one of the key items, and I don't notice right away, and I just barely get it ahead of time. Watch for the yellow hand that he sends out. And like, oh great, I got the first key item, and oh, there's another one. Oh shit. Oh, I had to rewind that and watch it again. Yeah, I just barely got it before that dickhead stole it. Alright, moving Nina up a few more spots. Now she can reach that barrel. The barrel needs more convincing. Alright, got that one. Last obstacle to open up is this barrel that Analot's going for. First attack with the halberd did not open it. She doesn't have enough time for a full charge. Look, she only has it about half charged. Is it going to be enough to open the barrel? And yes, it opens. Alright, so all key items have been gotten. The game was not too impressed, but guess what? I don't care. I'll take a D. Alright, at this point, since I've gotten the key items, I'm going to focus on destroying those objects. So to that end, I pull out Nina and put Johan in. And then I pull Analot and I put in Firenze, who we haven't seen in quite a while. But I wanted 2 warriors on the field so they could bust those things fast. And good old Slasher +3. So both warriors, of course, can use that. Alright, let's load up some more key items. And then finally I load up a bow for Stale. Whatever. The archer, let me put it that way.
Engage. Archer activate. You're gonna get it.
Alright, key items delivered. Let's get some kills. But first I'm going to actually try and smash these objects. So Ferenz is fully charged, so he can bring that barrel to a fragile status. But then it worked out better to go for the treasure box and hit the witch at the same time. So now from the graphic you can tell the treasure box is fragile. Look how fucked up it is. And he swings for the barrel this time. And yep, that barrel's fucked up now. Now, in order to destroy a fragile object, you just need to hit it with a skill attack. It doesn't need to be a fully charged skill attack. So watch when I do this with, I think Ferenz, the next one that I do that short charge with. But as long as I get past that first initial charge phase, then, let's see, let's watch this. Yep, just do the first charge, then as soon as it graduates to a skill attack, then you can let it loose. Alright. Farming for gems. Alright, I'm attacking with Stay Hull now. And in Law phase, an archer will stun the enemy if they hit. That's going to play a key role in this attack. So I hit the witch. She's between two squares, so I don't get the full damage, only 66%. But now she's stunned, and when you're stunned, you take full damage no matter what. So even though she's between two squares like that, I get full damage, 200%. So as you can see, a stun's pretty damn powerful. It was 200% because he was using a lightning bow, and she's a neutral enemy, so it does double damage anyway. However, he really should have only gotten splash damage for that. But once again, since she was stunned, she received full damage no matter what. Tough shit. Okay, all the objects are destroyed. All the key items are delivered, I think. So now it's just a matter of getting kills. I pull out Johann, then put him back in Ferenz's spot. And then I put Lillian, a duelist, in. I don't know why I picked Lillian. I think she was just the first duelist I saw. Stale gets removed, and Alonso, our Lance Knight, gets put in. There's going to be another situation where an enemy gets stunned in this round. I'll try and talk through it fast, but it happens really quick. Oh, one more key item for Flavio.
Engage.
So Nordich, I believe that's the first time we've heard the prince's name, Nordich, and apparently he's selfish. Alright, I move forward with Alonso here. He plows into that gray guy and knocked him off. Now the gray guy is stunned because he fell too far. So I charge with Johann really quickly, and for a brief moment, that guy has 100% damage, but then it quickly goes down to 7%. What happened was the duration of his stun expired, so he was no longer susceptible to full damage. And so as a result, he only received the splash damage that Johann could hit. I know that happened fast. If you have questions, ask me in the thread. I don't know if I explained it very well or not. Lillian's wielding a Sanctity weapon, so she doesn't do very much damage with that neutral enemy. But I didn't really intend for her to fight him. He was knocked off by Alonso. Whoops. Down to 1 magic point, so I figure I guess I should get some gems going. And I charge Johan with my time remaining, but it's not enough to reach the guy. And that ends the round. Okay, I just selected a Lamia as an enemy, that's Snake Woman. A lot of things happen in this round too. I'll try and talk it through. Alonso's out. I put in Simone, and then I load up a weapon for her. She's a priestess. So I load this Lucky Broom so I can finally lay a damn gram and be done with it. I don't care for grams, but I wanted to make a point to show it off.
Engage!
Johan mentions Michelle, and remember, Michelle was actually trans-sold to Johan, so Michelle's out of the game. Lillian mentions Annalot. So Lillian, Freeber, and Annalot must be a trio of buddies, huh?
I won't go easy on you.
Alright, with that, it's time to get the round going. Okay, charging up Simone, picking a spot to lay the stupid gram. There we go, gram is laid. And then I wait and wait and wait for that blob to step on the gram, and he takes his sweet ass time. While I'm waiting, that monster, the snake woman, the Lamia, she blows that heart. There's something to show with that, but I don't have time now. There's too much crap on the screen, so I avoid it this time. Come on, you fucking blob. Step on the gram. Thank you. Alright, and as predicted, he gets killed. That was nice and easy, huh? Alright, the Lamia is about to fire another heart at me, and this time I actually let it go through and demonstrate what it does. Here it comes. Oh, it's a heart, and I'm safely away, and... But wait, what it... Oh, it hit Lillian. It hit my duelist. And... it turned her into a monster. Holy shit. So I can spin that box 8 times, and Lillian is free. So we just witnessed the first attack in the game where the enemy actually targets our knights and not the wisp. As far as those attacks go, that one was fairly benign. There are some in this game that are pretty bad, and there are certain enemies that when I see them I kill them on sight, because what they do to our knights is unacceptable. But we'll deal with that when the time comes. For now, that Lamia's paid for her crimes. She's dead. And I don't really have a good way to kill this spider here because Simone's Graham can't reach it. he doesn't travel far enough to actually step on it. So I decided to farm him for gems. Here I try with Lillian, but the best she can muster is a little splash damage. Now, before I forget, regarding that Lamia and that attack with the heart, the only reason why Lillian was struck by that heart was because she was charged up and ready to attack. If a knight is a clear silhouette, then they can't be hit. And finally I decide just to take it. Like 12% damage I got from that. And that's enough. That will end the round. Alright, we're making pretty good progress on our monster matrix. We have a decent number of kills. The objects have not respawned yet, so we'll just pass the time by killing people. And I leave things the way they are so Simone can lay another gram or two, and then I'll be free of them forever. Alright, come on, buddy. Step on it. Thank you. Yeah, he's dead. Johan got a quick double damage on that guy. Alright, that guy went down pretty easy. Oh, that was a pretty quick round. Hey, an S rank. Nice. Those don't happen too often for me. Alright, I see that the objects have respawned this round, so we'll check them out. So that barrel respawns with a weapon, not a key item. Same with the treasure box, and the crate, and that barrel as well. So none of these came back with a key item, so it's not a big deal if I miss it. I'm just going to miss out on a weapon. There's no more key items to be had in this round.
Engage.
Alright, easy enough. They seem to open easier this time, don't they?
Convulse in pain. All spare in war.
So what just happened was that Graham hit the knight, and he was knocked off his feet and fell to the ground. When that happens, I have the opportunity to spin a box and change his elemental affinity, which I did for no damn reason. And I changed him to element of lightning, which is the worst I could have done because her grams are lightning based, so now he doesn't get full damage. You only get 25% damage from a gram. So it's a complete failure and a totally bad idea. But it doesn't matter, Johan managed to kill him in the crossfire. I have 0 magic points, so I'm going to start farming gems at this point. And the gram just expired, nobody stepped on it. Look at the monster matrix, we have a shitload of kills. Like, I don't know why I need this many magic points. We only need like one more kill and we're done. And it looks as though we've killed all the green monsters in this round. I'm stuck with only the whites and the yellows. And nearly all of them are flashing. So at this point, I'm like, let's just end this round. Alright, and one last scram to end it out.
Convulse in pain. All spare and war.
There we go. So once again, I organized my inventory off camera. I did a lot more item stacking again, so our weapon inventory is nice and tidy. I also went ahead and spent a lot of our experience points on our knights. So Alonso, Moira, Simone, Dreas, and Johan all received some experience points. In fact, Johan is now at his level cap, so he can't level up anymore until we transsoul another knight to him. So we have that to look forward to. At any rate, here's a summary of the leveling we did. Bonita is still hanging in there with 0.4 vitality. I actually was debating on using her as our permanent duelist, but she has such low vitality that I think it'd require a lot of work to get her in a usable state. Anyway, let's move on. So let's see. Lots of stuff to cover here. In the flashback, we saw that Annalot was the knight to escape the castle and tell the news of the tragedy to Regniberg. It sounds like the castle was flooded with monsters. At that point, Annalot collapsed from her wounds, and the other knights began to organize some reinforcements to send to the castle. Although we didn't see Annalot specifically say that the king was dead, I think it's implied that she was the knight referred to in the previous flashback, the one that escaped the castle and told everyone that the king had died. And from that flashback, we know that Annalot died from her wounds. Now, an interesting thing to point out is that this flashback is set 5 nights after the tragedy at the castle, while the previous flashback was set 7 nights after. So, chronologically, 5 nights after, Annalot comes riding in with the news in Regniberg Car Lane, which is a residential area of Regniberg. We know this from the little write-up of each region we get prior to every fight. Then, 7 nights after the tragedy, so 2 nights later in other words, the news is given to the knights in the previous flashback, who were in Regniberg Rick District, which is another residential area. I think it's interesting that it took 2 whole days for that news to spread to those knights. I don't know if that says more about the size of Regniberg or how disorganized the knights are. You'd think that news of the king's death would just rocket through the kingdom. Another thing. Reminder, Annalot is Freebird's daughter. She makes mention of him as she lay on the ground dying. Freebird was the wizard we recruited last video, and we saw him in the previous flashback. He was the one thinking to himself, Annalot, please be safe. Since she was stationed at the castle, he must have surely been panicked after hearing that a bunch of crazy shit went down. But the truth of the matter was, Annalot actually escaped the castle and made it to Regniberg, but died from her wounds 2 days earlier. Anyway, this is an ugly situation. Moving on to the present day cutscene, it looks like Yelma used her Dragon Ball Z powers to learn that the prince is dead, which gave her pause briefly. After that, it looks like the Armored Maiden has finally found the Wisp, and it's revealed that her name is Maria. The Wisp appears to go along with her speech, and it looks like they're going to start working together now. And sure enough, here's Maria on the battlefield. So we have a new ally. Maria is the Special Knight class, and she has some interesting quirks. And next time we'll be sure to check it out. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.